Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay.
So we can hear you, Comrade Reverend Frank Chikane.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. I was trying to check your sound. Is my sound okay?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly at this point in
Yeah,
time.
okay.
Yes.
Can we enlarge the screen, the text?
Okay, Comrade Bonga, assist there.
Is it possible, because I'm on the road, I'm sharing on the phone, if maybe I can make you a co-host and then you share on your side? Reverend? Hello, Rev.
Comrade Chikane, can you hear us?
You are loud and clear, Chair, Deputy Chair.
Can you hear me? Comrade Chikane, can you hear me? Comrade Cornelius, perhaps you might have lost the speaker. Is he still on the platform?
Comrade Cornelius, can you still...
He's muted.
Oh.
He is muted.
Comrade
I'm
Cornelius.
online. I'm here. I'm waiting for you.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe we couldn't hear each other. So can you hear me, Comrade Reverend?
Yes, I can. Am I
Okay.
loud and clear?
Yes, yes, you are loud and clear.
Okay.
Yes.
No, thank you very much.
I've made you a co-host. Is it possible then if you share on your side, because I'm on a phone, not on a laptop. That's why it's smaller as I'm sharing your screen.
Yeah. Well, I could try to share, but you would have to make me a co-host, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you are a co-host, sir.
Well, let me try. I haven't done it before, but I'll try.
Okay. Yeah, maybe let's take these few minutes for you just to check if it's possible. And otherwise we'll have to.
Yeah, otherwise I have to depend on you, comrades, that side, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Let me see.
If you on the bottom of your screen, there's a menu there. If you click, there's a menu. You go to share screen, share.
Yeah, I mean, we have got at the bottom of the screen, I've got the share.
You click
which
on
is
share,
the one I need to use, isn't it?
And then you choose screen, share screen.
Yeah.
Once you have started sharing, then you go to the documents, yeah.
I see the screen, yeah.
Yeah, we can see your screen now. Let's go to your documents.
Yeah.
To the one that is to your presentation.
Yeah, let me try. As I'm saying, I haven't done this before.
You are a
People
pro.
always,
You are almost there. You're doing it like a pro.
Maybe, Reverend, you can go to the send documents and check the document you sent me.
yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
almost
that
there.
one.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, that one.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then there we are. Thank you, Comrade Reverend,
Yeah,
for
but
coming.
we need to have
Let's
it
look for the full
on a
screen.
presentation mode, isn't it? Let me try presentation mode.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Can you see it?
Yeah, yes, we can see that.
Okay, that's fine. I'm in your hands.
Now, thank you, Comrade Reverend, for coming. And equally, my name is Stanley Mangena. I'm going to be facilitating this process also as the deputy chair of this particular branch in Montana, Ward 5, Tshwane region.
Raise your volume a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, so I'm saying thank you for coming. You are welcome in the region of Tshwane, in the Ward 5 King Nyabela Mahlangu branch in Montana. We really appreciate for you coming here at this important time in the history of the African National Congress and also of the country. So we would like to officially ask the secretary of the branch to officially make a welcome to you and also welcome each and every person in this platform. Comrade Nyabela.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Thank you all the comrades who are on the platform who honored this invitation. A very special welcome to Comrade Reverend Chikane. Thank you so much for honoring this invitation to come and educate us with this umkhabulo, because a lot of people, even us, were busy asking each other dialogue, and then what is what. So as you're coming to educate us about the dialogue and the renewal, we very much appreciate it and we welcome you very much. Thank you so much. Feel at home. We are in your hands. We are all ears. Educate us. Thank you, comrades.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Nyabela, for the words of welcome. And equally, we would like to emphasize that this year has been declared in the African National Congress as a year of renewal. And comrades, you are also aware that quite a number of times we have been very emphatic with the number of speakers that we have been having around this particular subject. Today we have Comrade Frank Chikane, Reverend, to come and then engage us on this particular matter. It is not only Comrade Chikane, it's not only us in the branch, it's also other comrades in the region of Tshwane and other comrades in the other provinces, just to indicate that. So we would like to take this opportunity now, comrades, as we all mute now, to welcome Comrade Cornelius, just to briefly introduce the speaker so that we can then begin. Comrade Cornelius?
Thanks, Chair. Good evening, comrades. Welcome, Dr. Reverend Franklin Chikane. Comrades, Dr. Chikane enrolled at the University of the North in 1972. He became involved in the activities of the South African Students' Organization. His political activism led to his repeated detention, which in turn disrupted his academic studies, and then left the university in 1974. He was detained and released on various occasions between January 1977 and 1985. He became a key leader of the United Democratic Front, which was launched in 1993, becoming the deputy president of the Transvaal region. Reverend Chikane holds a Master's of Arts degree from Harvard University and a Master of Theology from the University of Natal, now University of KwaZulu-Natal. In July 1997, he was elected General Secretary of the South African Council of Churches, succeeding Dr. Beyers Naudi. From 1983 to 1987, Reverend Chikane served as director at the Institute of Contextual Theology, which advanced the principles of liberation theology. Dr. Chikane was first elected to the NEC of the African National Congress in 1997. He has served as Director General in the presidency since 1994, first in the office of the Deputy President. He served as Senior Research Fellow at the Department of Religious Studies, University of Cape Town from 1995 to 2009. In 2007, 5 former apartheid security officers received suspended prison sentences for plotting to kill Reverend Chikane. All 5, including former Police Minister Adrian Flock and Police Chief Johan van der Merwe, admitted trying to kill Dr. Chikane in 1989. Reverend Chikane is an author of the following books: No Life of My Own, his autobiography, which was published in 1988. The second one, 8 Days in September, The Removal of Thabo Mbeki, which was published in 2012. And also The Things That Could Not Be Said, which was published in 2013. Briefly, that's it, comrades. If we had to do a comprehensive profile of Dr. Chikane, it will have taken the whole day. It's a very brief summary. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Cornelius, for that brief introduction of the Comrade Chikane. So, comrades, we are equally aware, just before we begin with the presentation, we have learned the passing of the former Deputy President of the African National Congress and also of the ANC, Comrade David Mabuza. As a leader of this particular branch, I would like to express the genuine condolences to the family of Mabuza. But equally, before we start, can we take 1 minute in observation of the moment of silence? It's 21 past now, and therefore we'll resume in a minute's time. Silent. Okay, thank you, comrades. Let's now begin our discussion, the presentation. Comrade Chikane, now is 22 past 7. And to all comrades, as you know, the rules is that we'll allow the speaker to present, Then we'll have a clarity-seeking questions and comments after the presentation. Comrade Reverend Chikane, over to you. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. I hope I'm clear. Thank you very much for inviting me to address you on this subject, renewal of the ANC. Are we on track? And of course, you added the issue about the dialogue. And I would like to say upfront that I will not go into the details about the dialogue. I will present it as part of the renewal campaign because it is in the Veterans League renewal campaign document. I would like to thank you for introducing me again, and those who call me doctor are those who gave me honorary doctorates. But I myself don't call myself a doctor. At least you could say adjunct professor, because I'm an adjunct professor of the School of Government of Wits. So just to clarify that. But comrades, I struggled to actually decide on the approach to this subject. And it's complex, it's long, and I'm going to be brief in terms of the details, assuming that details are known, or there will be questions about the details. But you can't talk renewal and not talk about why we are where we are. So let's begin, and I'm going to try to do it as soon as possible. We tried with my comrade Cornelius to find this song, Singamasocha Katambo, and we couldn't find it. And I wanted us to start with this song. Unfortunately, we are online and we can't sing it. But I wanted to start with it because for me, the ANC led by President O.R. Tambo, who led it for about 30 years as a president. And if you include him being General Secretary General, you're starting from 1955. And he becomes deputy president later that decade. And would have been president from Morogoro because he refused to be made a president, and they made him president, and he kept on saying he's an acting president, waiting for the nation to, the whole ANC to elect. So I won't go into that, but for me, I grew up during the O.R. Tambo ANC as a young person and as part of the leadership of the movement. I just want to say the ANC I grew up in, it's an ANC that was about the liberation of the people, not individual interests. And the liberation of the people was broader. It was the people of South Africa and the world. So you'll see in the discourse, when we talk about South Africa, we end in the world, end the world. And all the speeches of presidents, everybody ends up with the world. So we see our struggle as an international one. I use the word power to the people. I've put it there because our struggle was about getting power, but that power was power to the people. It was not power to individuals or for leaders. What has happened today is that people look for power to pursue their own personal interests. And that's why the ANC is in trouble. But power to the people means that we empower all the people of South Africa, particularly those who were oppressed historically, to exercise power. And that accordingly, because of that, the ANC being about the people and struggling for power for the people, it became a leader of society. So it's not an accident that we became leader of society. We have lost that status now. But historically, the ANC was seen as the leader of the people of South Africa. Secondly, I grew up in an ANC that was about creating a united, non-racial, non-sexist, just, democratic, and equitable society. Those words are all critical. And I thought I must do that because in the strategy and tactics, you see that language coming out about establishing a united, non-racial, non-sexist, just, and democratic South Africa. But then I won't go into that history. But we started having a decline. We started well once we took over government. For the first 15 years or so, there was a huge effort to transform this society, South Africa. I mean, we started with the military, the public service, the departments. We transformed, restructured provinces, restructured municipalities, restructured the budget, did codes of arms. We did a lot to really transform South Africa. But later, we hit a snare. I must say, comrades, I checked this expression, hit a snare, in the dictionary, and it doesn't say exactly what I want to say. Is that when you have a snare and there's a trap for you. When you hit it, it bites you and you can't go. You are under its control. And I said, okay, let's use got and snared. And for me, it's not an accident. The enemy forces had planned for us that when they couldn't stop us, they allowed, I decided we would negotiate, but they had a plan. And I think we fell into that trap. And I won't speak a lot about that. We ended in a corridor I call the worst forms of factionalism, divisions, with leaders who became inward looking. I mean, the whole ANC, when you formed branches in the early 90s, I was General Secretary of the Council. I wasn't part of the UDF leadership that participated. But we created this thing called a branch. And during the UDF days, we mobilized the masses of the people, not a branch of 100 people in a ward who are not known by anybody, who are not leaders of that community, but are meant for ANC business conferences, easy to buy to arrive at Nasrec and vote for the people they've been bought to vote for.
Yeah, so we already spoke that.
Back to that community. Those leaders may not even be known by that community. Some of them have never called a public meeting. But during the struggle, the leaders of those communities were seen as the leaders of the people. And that's what Renewal would require us to go back to that approach, that the ANC was a mass movement through all expressions because it was banned, so we couldn't say we are ANC. But we need to go back there because if we're going to gain the confidence of the people and become leaders of society, we must move away from structures of the ANC that are inward looking The Women's League looks inward, the Youth League looks inward, the rest of the structures, and I will come back to the Veterans League. Then, of course, we focused on self-interest, family, factional interest, accumulation of wealth through corrupt means. I don't mind people accumulating wealth and working for themselves or running business. That's acceptable. But once you accumulate wealth by stealing from the people and leaving them poor and without services in communities, it is completely unacceptable. I won't spend time about state capture. I just want to say this capture of the state, where the state is repurposed to serve individual sectarian interest at the expense of the people, was the ultimate goal of the counter-revolution. Neutralize. We wanted power to the people. We end up with a state that's used for other purposes other than what it was meant to be. And I won't spend more time. Because of all these challenges, I picked up these statistics again. Couldn't do a graph, but at least I could put it in this form. I mean, we started 1994. The enemy forces worked hard to make sure we don't get 2/3 majority in 1994, but we got 62.7. 1999, we increased it to 66.4. 2004, we hit almost 70%. But from then on, we had a downturn and a decline, and we went to 65.9, 62.2, 57.2, and then ended up with 40 last time. This is not a surprise because we should have known about it. We were aware of it, and the leadership was aware of it. At least I was aware of it. And I want to say that there were red lights which were shown. I was in the 1997 ANC conference, and that's where I was elected as a member of the NEC. And Mandela's political overview, go and read it. It tells you that we are vulnerable, we are exposed, and that if we don't change the trajectory, we're going to get into trouble. Go and read it. And then every report of the Secretary Generals, again, every conference, analyze the nature of the problem. But when comrades go through, that presentation gets made. When we finish, we focus on elections and who should be president and etc. And forget about the red lights that have been very clear to us. I also want to say the NGC of 2000 for me was extraordinary. We went to Port Elizabeth, then called Port Elizabeth, and we talked about we now need a new cadre who's equipped to understand the ANC's role as a revolutionary movement and their responsibilities as agents of change. It was quite clear, firstly, that the old cadre was focused more on fighting apartheid, but we need a new cadre. But it was also recognizing that the cadres were losing the focus and the revolutionary intent of the movement and the issue of being in power, you know, the sins of incumbency, changes the nature of the cadre of the movement, where they think they are there in power to make sure that they get the people they want, achieve their own personal interests, rather than as change agents. I brought in, comrades, my story about the journey to Letule House because many people have forgotten this. I raised, as a former member of the NEC, I raised concerns with the leadership of the ANC. And at that time, I must say that, I mean, the SG said to me, no, you know, I want to be treated like an institution who mandated me to raise these matters. So I thought, okay, I'll get a mandate. I went to my branch in Midrand 12112, got a mandate from them, went to the region, got a mandate, went to the province, got a mandate, and delivered at Letule House a 32-page document, which document warned that if the ANC does not change its trajectory to regain the confidence of the people, it will go into a free fall and lose power. And it was very specific that will lose metros and major cities in 1 year to 5 years. That was well heading for 2016. And I said that in terms of the national elections, we'll lose the national elections in 9 to 14 years. Now people think you are a prophet or predicting things. It was not supernatural knowledge, it's analysis. I did an analysis and went to Letule House and they listened to me. I presented this document. I said to them, we must change the trajectory we are following or we're going to lose an election. And it is not surprising that we have actually lost the elections within that 9 years I talked about. I hope that I can on the next screen, I can't actually get that link showing up. You'll see that you can Google it. You will see the reports during that time. And the SG said to me at that time, I can't make those statements. I can't say that the ANC is going to fall below 50. Of course, this story leaked because once you consult with branch, region, etc., it leaks in any way. And so it became a public issue. But I said, no, I'm not critiquing, I'm not attacking the ANC. I'm saying if we don't change, we're going to lose an election. And so that's why the 2017 conference, 54th conference, made this decision having understood what the crisis is and said organizational renewal is an absolute and urgent priority. And we may go as far as to say the survival of our great movement, which means if we don't renew, our movement will perish. That was in 2017. You can search whether there was any urgent action after that resolution. And I have not found the urgency. Some things were being done, but there's no urgency. Then the resolution says it mandates the NEC to devise a sustained program of organizational renewal and report such at the next NGC. There has not been a sustained program of renewal. I'm not aware of it because I grew up when we ran campaigns with the UDF and went to the communities. We should have gone to the communities. We should have reviewed and reorganized our branches to represent the people and make sure that we regain the confidence of the people. Not much. My leadership in the Veterans League would say no, but there were efforts that were made, but not much. So I thought I must add that in that the 2022 conference, which is the 55th conference, we adopted Vision 2032 to guide the renewal and rebuilding of the movement over the next 10 years. This was a vision that says by the time we hit 2032, when we celebrate the birth of the ANC, we should have renewed the organization, rebuild it. And we can't go there and celebrate when we have lost power. And the idea was use the 10 years to do that. And then we adopted, the conference also took a note of the work done by the Renewal Commission. Some of the comrades will remember there was a Renewal Commission formed to develop, which developed the draft 2032 roadmap towards the realization of the National Democratic Revolution. I took this portion because at least you can see there is still commitment to the National Democratic Revolution by the conference. That draft of the roadmap, I have not seen it as a draft every branch is following to make sure that we renew the organization. Some things have been done, but not in terms of details. Then there was a short-term program adopted at the 55th conference, instructing the NEC to develop a short-term renewal program of action. Those who are critical say this was a diversion from the renewal, the complete renewal program. But it said with clear timeframes and monitoring and evaluation framework. I have looked for this program, the decision is there, but clear timeframes and monitoring and evaluation framework, you struggle to find it. But this would have included the renewal vision, so it must have a vision. Every branch member should understand that. I'm not feeling that my branch here, we have pushed to get it understand this, but there was nothing that really gives them this possibility. With renewed leadership, you can't have the ANC led by a leadership that's not renewed. And my worry at the present moment is that there are people who are campaigning, want to be leaders of the ANC, but they are using the old methods. They're not focusing on, have we renewed the organization? Are we going to win an election based on regaining the confidence of the people? And that you as a leader are renewed. If you are not renewed, you take us back on that free fall into losing an election. Then it says build branches or rebuild branches. I'll come to this matter because this is a key aspect of our renewal. If we have the same branches that get brought to a conference to vote for a particular person, when they leave, there's no branch, there's no activity in that community. Sewer runs in a street. If there's a branch of the ANC, we should be the first ones to make noise about it, but we're not there. Then it talks about the membership system. As some would say, there have been an effort after the last conference to deal with this membership system. You know, the electronic system, etc. And then the decision says build the new cadre, which is the language of 2000 and the National Council of 2000, and then extract, etc. There were other things. I just want to say, comrades, I want to transition and say the ANC Veterans League made interventions to make sure we actually do this renewal commitment. And I want to run through it quickly. Pre-2022 interventions by veterans of the movement. You will remember there were veterans of the movement who were very concerned about where the movement was going, what was happening, let's fix it. And then the NEC of the Veterans League formed a renewal subcommittee to deal with the challenges of renewal within the ANC. And it's pre-2022. You'll see in the next slide that I'm saying post-2022, that is following the establishment of the ANC Veterans League National Task Team. The NEC could not do the conference and expired. So the task team was formed and we renewed the Veterans League. If there is any structure within the movement that has been renewed, it's the Veterans League. And we followed the principles in the preamble that these veterans who are 40 years of service, 60 years or more old, must understand the character of the movement, its principles, its history, its commitments, the National Democratic Revolution. Why are we letting the movement to go astray when you've got this collection of very experienced people? When I went to the Eastern Cape in their conference, there were 200 veterans in that hall, and they were representing people who elected them. And I said to them, but how could the ANC lose its trajectory whilst we are here? And today, I just want to say the Veterans League is the closest representation of what the current. The ANC should be within the ANC. It is non-racial, it is representative of the demographics. It's focused on what we should be and what we should do. And you will see that the Veterans League, through its renewal subcommittee, developed renewal documents for the ANC and presented them to the 2022 Policy Conference and the 2022 National Conference, including proposed amendments to the ANC Constitution to make sure that this renewal happens. There are things you needed to change in the Constitution. As you would know, this is the first conference, I've never seen this happening, where you have amendments, you meet once in 5 years, you have amendments that can be done once in 5 years. And this particular conference was not able to act on the amendments. And because of that, we're not able to fully deal with the renewal because there were certain changes that must be made. And you can go to the documents which were presented at the conference. The Veterans League renewal documents, I've said this already. In July 2022, you'll see there's 2024. We have got 2022 documents are presented. We go to the Lekgotla 2023. These issues are debated, but there's no program. Then you go to 2024 January, all of them after the state of the January statement. The January statement makes it very clear about renewal. I'll refer to one of the statements, but it's in the statement. But there is no agency to make sure that we renew the African National Congress. And so in July 2024, the NEC of the Veterans League decided, because it has presented this renewal document and vision, action plan, etc., decided to implement the renewal program with the help of the ANC Political Education Unit. So the Veterans League works with the entities within Letole House. And the renewal program started with political education foundation course. We did training the trainers first. And then the foundation course started. It has been running since September, October last year, which is a key part of the renewal of the organization. I must say that the letter of the SG on the foundation course, which made it mandatory before conferences, has ignited activity and energy for comrades to go through this course, which is very helpful. Some people would say, no, but it's not deep enough. It's not at the level we want it to be. I think we must accept it. I've accepted it as a foundation course. There are more courses at other levels that people can take. Interestingly, in the last NEC of the Veterans League, we talked about the rush for compliance following the letter of the SG. The risk is that people go there for compliance purposes rather than really go and come out as cadres, new cadres of the movement, who are going to follow the route of renewal and make sure we gain the confidence of the people and go back and win the election. I just want to go through a case report on branches we had this last NEC. We had our NEC of the Veterans League last Thursday and Friday. And there's a report on the foundation course and uses the Eastern Cape as an example. Very interesting reading. Once you run the foundation course, you can know whether the branch that's involved is functional or dysfunctional or non-existent. And they even identify where these branches are. So as we do the foundation course, we're able to know that, I mean, this branch is dysfunctional, but there's nothing that is being done to make sure they are functional. In some places, non-existent. Actually, where they don't exist, we should just be creating new branches based on the renewal program to make sure we've got new cadres of the movement. And we need to zero on that to make sure that every branch is such that no one can buy them and no one can get them organized for election purposes rather than the pursuit of the national democratic revolution. I think that's critical, and this report was very useful. Then we have the intervention on service delivery failures and corruption, because we couldn't deal with renewal and not deal with our failure to deliver services. Comrades, the majority of the municipalities are under the leadership of the ANC, and most of them are performing badly. Just go and look at dysfunctional municipalities, etc. It's where the ANC is in charge. We can't hide that. We can't debate that. We deployed people who can't do the job, who don't have the skill and capacity. We have the possibility to change the structural issues that make these municipalities not function properly. I attended a meeting where the plan and strategies are outlined as to what we should do, but it is not happening. And people still have sewer running in streets and etc. We have a very huge challenge. For us to win the next election, we're going to have to restructure the municipalities, make sure we have people who are deployed there who know what to do and have the capacity to do it. Or we must bring other people from outside that municipality to help them to function. We will not win an election with failing municipalities because that's where the voters are. And so in the NEC of the ANC before the 2020 election formed an intervention task team, but it was 6 months before, 3 months before the election. It couldn't change things. That task team continued after. I joined it because I was dealing with the renewal issue from the Veterans League, and then they made me chair the Elections and Campaigns Committee. And so I joined it. These comrades who are in this task team meet almost, they used to meet almost every day, at most once, at least once a week. And they deal with specific challenges. We have done an audit, the cloud of the ANC. They've got what is called cloud, with constituencies from parliament, gather information about where the challenges are, but where it's a political problem, the implementation doesn't happen effectively. And so this task team has convinced me that we can actually deal with the problems that we are facing. We also have a proposal. We're working on this internal platform for those who want to report corruption. It shouldn't say corruption. It should say service delivery failures and corruption. There's a part that is missing there. That instrument will be able to give people a possibility to say, there's a pothole there, there's a sewer there, there's this, and that we have a rapid response mechanism to deal with those problems. I'll come to that just now. I just wanted to quote the statements of January 8th, start 2023, which says corruption is an enemy of the people and is therefore a counter-revolutionary act that must be combated and defeated. We can't have people extorting. You give people a tender and you then say, pay me a certain amount, and they pay you that amount and they can't build the road or complete it because it doesn't work like that. Or people who we hear about people who get paid monthly for the tender that somebody got. And we take it from the money that's supposed to be serving the people. And I am of the view that we can't have leaders who live on robbing the people of money that should serve them. And then the renewal and rebuilding of our organization is not negotiable. That's 2023 again, non-negotiable, and we must ensure that it is irreversible. And so we need to renew and rebuild the movement. If we do not renew our movement, it will perish, and it's using the 54th conference language. So the last part, Comrade Chair, I won't spend a lot of time, but this is the renewal campaign. The veterans presented to the Elections Management Committee, Events Management, and Campaigns Committee within the AA, and the NEC has got those committees and structures at Letole House. We developed a strategy of how we regain the confidence of the people. And that strategy was developed last year and was presented to these structures at Letole House and met the SG January, February this year. It was integrated into the election strategy workshop in April. And it's a clear strategy with 3 phases, where we talk about the first phase, go to the people, be able to explain why they were failures, admit it, where they were failures, And where we did well, say so, and say to the people, we are renewing the organization. This is your organization. We are renewing it. We want you to participate in the renewal of this organization. The branches where you are need to be renewed, and we are working on that, and we want to work with you. And we said it would be 9 months when we proposed it last year, but it's now 6 months because of the date of the election. The second phase, and then we deal with service delivery failures. Now, we deal with the issues of failing municipalities as a program, national program. We only have 6 months now, because the next phase, it's another 6 months. The next phase is the last 6 months of the election. Then we said, once you've done the first phase, which I'll talk about just now quickly, you do the second phase. And the second phase is again door to door. The first would be door to door, talk to people. Let's not wait for elections. The second will be going to the people and reporting about progress we have made, and then show the people that we can govern and deliver what needs to be delivered to the people, and not the failures that are showing up. I must say there's a lot of effort now, but we're not even telling the people we are doing it. I was supposed to talk to the communications person from Lutule House today about our decision during the weekend that the ANC is not communicating. The intervention task team is not in the media and consciousness of the people. And so the last 6 months will be the election 6 months. So the normal program of the ANC kicks in. But comrades, all the surveys indicate if you don't convince people 1 year before the elections, they will not change their minds. And the 1 year before the elections is December this year. So that's why we need to use this in my understanding of what campaign is about, because we did this during the struggle. We should be mobilizing branches, we should be having meetings, we should be interacting, visiting people, interacting with various sectors, and present the ANC to them as a renewing ANC. And so just to run through this, and then I complete so we can have discussions. The strategy says the ANC Renewal Commission should be convened and take responsibility. This Renewal Commission consists of the leadership and former presidents, those who remember, and the SGs, the administrator who should convene it. I met the leadership who are supposed to be in that commission. And when you ask, when last did you meet? They say, we haven't met. And so we need this commission. And so the Veterans League has gone to the SG to say, convene this commission to take leadership of the renewal program. Secondly, the Veterans League decided we must have champions of the renewal program. Every province, region must identify credible leaders who are going to be part of this campaign to present a face that can be believed by our people. Because at present, I mean, they call it a organization, Yamasela. When I ended up with a radio interview in the Eastern Cape, they just said, Mfundisi, the organization, Yamasela. We can't vote for it. And so we need to change that. The next, quickly, getting the Youth League to develop a strategy to renew the ANC as well as mobilize the youth. When we met the Youth League some time ago, it would have been about March, February. clearly they had no strategy. And we said, we have a strategy as Veterans League. What's your strategy? All the surveys indicate that if we don't mobilize the 4 million young people to vote for us, we're going to struggle in the next election. And then the number 4 million appears everywhere. But if the Youth League is inward looking and thinking about, I've talked fortunately with the president of the Youth League. We met this Monday. We've been trying to meet and it wasn't possible. But I met him this Monday. And I said to the President, I'm praying that you be the Youth League, or the Lembede Youth League, turning the Youth League into a Youth League of Lembede. You remember, it was the one that was launched by Tambo Sisulu, Mandela. They were young people, they were in their 20s, and Lembede became a youth league. That's the youth league that turned the ANC of the 50s and Freedom Charter, etc. This progressive ANC by 1987, I mean, at that point in my own research, was almost at the highest level of ideological understanding, even socialist concepts, etc. But we started to slide. So I've pleaded with the Youth League, be the Lembede Youth League that saved the ANC. And their focus should be on how we save the ANC, win an election. No, it's not useful to campaign for leadership, etc., when in fact you're going to lose an election. Then we say there must be vetting, verification of all members, ensure that all of them go through the foundation course, audit, rebuild, re-establish branches I've talked about already, branches to provide leadership in their wards and ensure that their municipalities deliver quality services. It must be, if there's going to be social, what you'd call civil society on the ground, it must be ANC branches. They must be there, monitor what the municipality is doing, the failures, the challenges. If it's an ANC municipality, make sure that the corrective measures are taken and make sure the services to the people are delivered. If it is another party, engage them as an opposition party and make sure the services are delivered. Next is root out all forms of corruption, corrupt and compromised officials and politicians. Comrades, will not win an election where people are poor, have no food, have no jobs, and they watch these cases where it's billions of rands, whether stolen or not, but the impression is that these leaders chow the money and we are dying of hunger here. We need to change that equation to involve the people. Then is that hotline I was talking about, which I don't have to repeat now. And then the emergency rapid response and intervention mechanism at a national level, it's working. I've been with it, I've been involved. If you say there's sewer running in a street there, like in Ekurhuleni, which was a huge thing that the municipality didn't have the resources and capacity. This unit moved in, brought equipment and facilities from other neighboring municipalities and closed that in 48 hours time. It was a major burst. So if this could be translated to provinces and regions, then we would be able to really win the confidence of the people because they will see we care. And then in terms, I'm finishing now, concluding. In terms of the campaign, we said use the historical days. And we were saying start from December, we missed the deadline. We said start from the Lekgotla January, we missed it. And State of the Nation, President should focus on it, but from a government perspective. And then we said Freedom Day, Human Rights Day, we missed it. We only had the strategy in April, we missed the National Day. We said Workers' Day, we missed it. We said June, I was traveling during June 16. When I came back, I had pleaded that the youth speech on June 16 must be about this renewal campaign. No, it wasn't there. I said, put it on government, on the president. The president spoke. It wasn't there. And so we now missed all that. We said Freedom Charter Day. Comrades, there was no Freedom Charter event, which it's 70th anniversary of the Freedom Charter. It wasn't there. I can't understand it. The Veterans League did an event on Saturday where they did intergenerational discussion on the Freedom Charter. They brought the Youth League, COSAS, SASCO, and all those entities, Young Women's entity, but not a major. I would have thought would use it song and dance about the Freedom Charter and that it is our objective, and the dialogue must focus on those issues that we believe in. Comrades, we got the Cape Town, the Sisulu Heritage Center where the Freedom Charter was adopted, fell apart in our faces, and it is in bad shape. It's like a squatter place. And we were governing. Even when the DA was there, they tried to blame Mashaba. I say, no, comrades, we were there. We should have made sure that that place doesn't fall apart. The National Dialogue, comrades, it's as you know, former President Mbeki called for this national dialogue. The president supported it, the ANC supported that, and it's the president who is leading this process. They've formed committees, structures, and what we were saying in this campaign is that we should use the a revolutionary uses every opportunity to pursue his or her objectives of the revolution. So use the national dialogue processes to mobilize people to ensure that our progressive perspectives are in the center of the dialogue. During our struggle, we wouldn't have an NGO or a professional organization or lawyers organization or community where we are not represented. We made sure we are in all those structures because it was part of the mobilization for liberation. So the only thing I want to say about the national dialogue is that the ANC must lead it. And you don't lead it by saying, I must control it. You lead it by participating fully in all the structures. We don't have to participate in the name of the ANC. We do it by being part of the communities and entities. I mean, today, for instance, Kagiso Trust had a meeting of NGOs, civil society to discuss the national dialogue. And I was thinking, we should be there. We don't have to say, there's a representative of the ANC in that meeting, because it's not about party. But we should be part of these civil society groups that are meeting there and influence the direction of those entities. We have got, for instance, the G20, Black Business Council, small business, big business, agriculture, and all these entities. We should be present there. In our old way, the old tradition, there would be no Black Business Council where there isn't a Black business person who's there, who subscribe to our progressive way of thinking. And I just want to say, we must find a way of participating in all the structures that are being formed. Some of these foundations that are involved are progressive foundations. And we shouldn't actually have a problem there. I would like to end by saying we should promote the renewal project from the top to the top, from the bottom to the top. We must get every branch to be involved in this. And the Veterans League suggested we produce branding material for renewal. You don't even have that branding material for renewal. Popularize the campaign. It's July up to December. We must regain the confidence of the people. If we don't, we will go below 40%, we'll go to 30%, we'll then spend all the time being insulted. I feel insulted by Zille myself. And it's because we failed. We mustn't blame Zille. But she keeps on reminding us that we lost, we behaved like we didn't lose, as if they won. But they will do what they are doing on us because we failed. And I would say, let's declare state of emergency to save the African National Congress, save the National Democratic Revolution, our vision, and make sure we achieve the objectives that the ANC wanted to achieve. Thank you very much, comrades.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Reverend, for the presentation that has been presented. We really appreciate. It obviously is a thought-provoking presentation. We will then take this opportunity for comrades to discuss this this presentation, clarity-seeking question and comments at this point in time. So, but perhaps maybe just let me indicate that we also want to appreciate the leadership of the region present also on the platform. I can see Comrade Aaron Maluleke is also here. We appreciate leader and other comrades, perhaps that I may not be able to see them now. Also the zonal leadership that is here. So comrades, without any waste of time, it's now 8:21. We'll run this program until 9 o'clock at least. So let's now begin to engage. Comrade Bonga, you will assist me in terms of the hands that perhaps I may not see in terms of the clarity-seeking question and comments there. Can we then hit the road?
All right, thanks, Chair. We will have Comrade George, Comrade Khosi, followed by Comrade Khaukhelo, Comrade Tesikho, Comrade Isaac, and then Comrade Mu. Okay, Comrade Mukhao. We will start the comrade with the Samsung. Comrades, let's make sure when we come to this meeting that at least we rename our gadget so that we are able to recognize the comrade. It's gonna be the comrade Samsung, but please, as I'm saying Samsung, please, if you can rename your gadget. Comrade Kaiser, Comrade Tumelo, and I think let's end there. Then we'll take the second round. We will try
Comrade,
not to.
Yeah, Comrade Bonga, I have 8 names that I've registered that you mentioned, and then let's start.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, comrades. Good evening, Chair, and good evening to Reverend Chikane and comrades. Chairperson, let me...
Comrades, can we mute? Wait, comrades. Wait, Comrade George. Comrades, can you be muted? Can you mute? Comrade co-hosts, those who continue to do
You are muted, Comrade. Comrade George, you can come in. Comrade, please, if you unmute, I will remove you. Please, let's not spoil it. We are almost at the end of today. Comrade George, come in.
Yeah, thanks, and receive my salutations, and thanks for the comprehensive presentation by the stalwart of our movement. Chairperson, let me stay a hornet's nest. I am both a member of the African National Congress and the South African Communist Party in good standing. And my elementary understanding of politics is that we contest state power for a reason. And both the ANC and the SACP are dialectically tied by an umbilical cord designed to advance the National Democratic Revolution and to reconcile the class contradictions to unite the ANC and the working class. I would like the chairperson to advise us in resolving the current political conundrum where both the ANC and the SACP are contesting elections. The first question would be, of what impact will this be for the National Democratic Revolution? And lastly, will the ANC expel me from my own organization by advancing both the interests of the SACP and the ANC, which are dialectically linked? Thanks.
next,
George,
Comrade Fosi.
the second question is not clear to me. Can you just clarify that?
Will I be expelled from the ANC by supporting the South African Communist Party in the 2026 elections or the national general elections as we continue toward the 2032 chair? Thanks.
I've got it. Thank you.
Comrade Fosi.
Comrade Chair, Comrade Stan and team, let me take this opportunity to welcome the presentation by our cadre, the veteran Comrade FC. We say also congratulations to the King Nyabela Mahlangu branch, Ward 5 in Tshwane region. You are one of the best branches that is in existence. Comrade Frank spoke about functionalities of branches. You are the best, comrades. And I want to congratulate you on that. And secondly, Comrade Chair, let's also informed by your request that we should have taken, which we did, a minute of silence in respect of our veterans, those who have passed away. We have Comrade David Mabuza, who was the Deputy President of the country, and Comrade Veli Mahlangu, who is also an ANC veteran. We salute those comrades. And we say to them, well done to them with the advancement of the revolution. Comrade Chairperson, Comrade FC has spoken, man. You know, we agree that the ANC is in a crisis. And if there is anybody who is disputing that, then he will have to be scientifically progressive in submitting the evidence. Comrade Frank Chikane spoke about the issue of non-existence of or non-functionalities of branches. That touches me so much. The renewal program that the Veterans League has brought on the table, which is currently running as the foundational cause, cannot be successful unless we recommit ourselves to the issue of amending of or realigning the constitution of the organization.
Comrade Hosi, let me interject you a bit. Perhaps maybe if you have a question, just be direct leader, because it's also a standing position that we need to share the time, please.
Exactly. Noted.
Just go straight. Let's not prolong our the opportunity that we've been given. We normally have 1 minute for a question, and so forth. Even the comments that we're gonna make, maybe 2 minutes or so. But now is a question. Go straight, leader.
Noted. Comrade Chair, with the respect that we we have as a member of the ANC-led alliance. Comrade Reverend Chikane, there is what Comrade Lenin has called a 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards. And he said what needs to be done when there is a crisis of this nature that the ANC finds itself in today. We are in a crisis mode. The party is leaving the ANC. It wants to contest elections by itself. A lot of activities are taking place, and we are at 40% currently. And one of my basic questions will be, how then are we going to resuscitate the movement? I know you brought up as veterans the issue of the renewal of the organization, but the masses of our people on the ground, the poor rural people and the working class, don't understand the current dynamics because most of them are uneducated like me. They only see the ANC as an organization of those who are corrupt and stealing the money and stealing the resources that are meant for the service delivery to the masses of our people. So how are we then going to convince these people to vote for the ANC come 2026 when the city of Johannesburg doesn't have water and there is no electricity here? You know that the president has declared the city of Johannesburg as one of those which are dysfunctional, and it needs to be resuscitated. Thank you, Comrade Chair.
Yeah, I think we captured your question clearly. Comrade Taurelo, let's respect time. Go straight to the question. We have all the backgrounds, comrades, and I think Comrade Chikane is a veteran, he has the background. If there is a need for clarity on the question asked, he will do so. Just shoot straight.
Thank you, Chairman. My question is simple. Thank you, Comrade Chikane, for the presentation. The documents on renewal, one of the key issues that they respond to, they say that we must avoid recycling incompetent leadership. So I just want to ask, how are we going to do that to avoid what we just saw with the Freedom Charter celebration? I mean, we have entrusted the SG and his office to deal with that. For 3 years, they knew we were going to end anniversary. And for us to have this failure just speaks about the incompetence in that office. And we trust that office to be the chief administrator of the renewal project insofar as political education is concerned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Lesego. Comrade Lesego. Okay, we are passing Comrade Isaac.
Thanks, Chair. Quick one. ANC as a leader of society, there's this issue that we're ignoring. The birth of PA and Action SA was as a result of illegal immigrants. We should not shy away from that. People are leading themselves now. They're chasing illegal people in the hospitals. What is the ANC position on this issue as a leader of society? Thanks. That's my question.
Okay, thank you, Leader Comrade Mahlangu.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, comrades. I have a concern, thank you, Reverend, for an insightful presentation. My concern is that the reason why we are having these foundation courses, we were expecting to see change and seeing our members being renewed. So, but then the challenge is that from where I'm sitting, there's no positive impact made by the courses because, for example, in the branch where I'm coming from, you can see that there's no behavioral change because you will still see people fighting like for simple things over the group WhatsApp. When somebody comments, there'll be this other person who will be saying, you are still new in this group, in this branch, we've been there and what, and we are all members of the ANC. And another thing, when we talk about the renewal, what happened to the eye of the needle, because we have some leaders who we know very well that they are corrupt, some they are criminals and what, but they still want to stand. So why can't we vet these people and then be honest to them that you cannot stand because we know your background, you are this and that? Because if we cannot deal with the rot within the branches, it means we are still going to have criminals who are still going to lead our structures of government, or who are still going to lead our communities. So I think there has to be something, there has to be a monitoring tool, because we cannot continue to train people, but then we cannot monitor the progress. What is it that is happening after the training? So mine is just a comment, because I cannot see much of an impact in our trainings because there's no change at all. It's just a comment. We must have a way of monitoring and evaluating the impact, and also be able to root out these corrupt activities and what, by using the documents that we are having in place, implement what we have through the eye of the needle and everything, so that we can see progress. Because if we talk without action, then we're going nowhere. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Samsung. I'm not sure who's the leader, who's Comrade Samson. Comrade Bonga, is there the name?
No, thanks very much, Comrade Mongwe, if that's what you are trying to pronounce now.
Yeah, no, it was written Samson, but let's proceed.
Oh, no, my apologies, my chair. Look, I don't have so much of a question except to say it's a compliment in terms of this program. What I want to appreciate, comrades, is that I'm Comrade Mike Mongwe in Johannesburg region. This is a program that was somehow dedicated to the Tshwane region, and I think as a collective, it's important that we should contribute. But more importantly, Chair, we want to appreciate the presentation by entire speakers and the comments by a lot of comrades, let alone the question of criticism. But one want to indicate that I think when it comes to the issue of developing our cadres, then the clarity that should be given, it will be more about the current question of governance when it goes to the issue of the ANC vis-a-vis its alliance partners contesting positions. I think probably the Reverend should give some of us a way of how to convince, to interpret the question of failure to vote for the liberation movement vis-a-vis voting for the vanguard. I'm talking from the capacity of a worker. I'm the chairperson of Johannesburg COSATU cluster, in that we find ourselves in particular, Chair, that we end up not knowing what to do, because I am a member of ANC in my own right. I'm a member of the party, but at the same time, what becomes an issue when it comes to issue of governance that's led by voting is that you should choose, and it's very difficult. We have been going through social media issues where we learned that somewhere in Mpumalanga, our senior cadres have chased the sentiment like that, chased, whether it's true or not. But this is the platform that we should be given a clarity as to, if I go to a BBBGM of the ANC, not necessarily as a member of that particular branch, and I'm a leader of the workers as a shop steward, but probably occupying a position in the federation, how do I then accept the question of differences and criticism that is labeled against the alliance partners? Probably the veteran and the Baba can assist us as to how do we then have to swallow the pride and assist and understand that what is more important is the defense of the 31-year democratic achievement.
Okay,
moving forward.
Thanks,
Let me back with you. Thanks so much.
Yes, let's move, Comrade Dumelo.
Thanks, Chair. Evening to everyone. Thanks for the presentation. Yeah, man. For me, Chair and Comrade Frank, I think we have overdiagnosed the problem, if there's anything called overdiagnosis, because we repeat the same diagnosis every day. In the ANC, in our homes, and so on. So, and we know the solutions. We need we need a competent president of the country, of the ANC. We need a competent ministers, competent deputy ministers, DGs, premiers, MECs, HODs, municipal managers, mayors. So I don't understand, why are we not firing the people who are incompetent and put the people there? Why are we scared of confronting each other? So for me, we can come with all sorts of programs. When some of us joined the ANC about some 35 years ago, there was no need for foundation courses and all of those things. Yes, we had umkhabulo and stuff like that. People were vetted, not even in a process. So I'm just saying, can we just fire incompetent ministers and deputy ministers, DGs, premiers, and get competent people. This country will turn around in 2 financial years. So we are beating about the bush, coming with textbook stuff, which is not going to help us. We know what is the problem. You know, if a MM doesn't perform, let's fire him, or hey, a mayor and so on. You know, so I just don't understand what is the problem. We all know the problem, but we're struggling to implement the solutions. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Comrade Bong, I think the list on my side is complete. I'll give to Comrade Frank. Can you confirm that?
Yes, leadership. Let's deal with this first line, then we will come back. The eye hands, I've noted them, but let's go back to let's maybe then go back to Doc.
Comrade Reverend, let's engage now on those questions. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. Can I just say, comrades, firstly, I shouldn't be answering all the questions because we should answer them together as members of this movement. But I'll try to go through some of the questions quickly. I think the issue about the SACP making a decision to go to contest elections, it's a major issue that intervenes at the moment when we are trying to get the ANC into the right trajectory. And we debated and discussed this matter in the last ANC Veterans League NEC meeting. And you will see from our statement, if you could access it, that the Veterans League expresses a deep concern about this decision because it is not implementable without, in fact, wrecking the alliance itself, which is a long tradition. We can't, I said myself, you can't unscramble the ANC and the SACP. It's impossible. Because even where we were sitting as veterans, you would have to say now, you are a member of the ANC, you are a member of the Communist Party. It doesn't make sense. We also had this story about people in the Northwest saying to SACP members, you can't be in this meeting because we're strategizing about elections. And I think we got another report, I think it was Mahlangu or something like that. And the view, the way we understand this matter is that the officials of the ANC or the leadership has been mandated to engage the SACP and find solutions to this problem and report back to the NEC. We didn't have a report about how far this discussion has gone when we met. And our approach is that the ANC cannot decide to exclude the SACP. But the SACP can decide to say, no, we are excluding ourselves from this, but the ANC can't do that. And so we are calling on caution and sensitivity that we shouldn't have meetings where you have to identify who's SACP. It feels like the old apartheid days, which is unacceptable. So we must find the solution. The decision comes at a time when we are weak, and it will weaken us even more. We're going to come out weaker than stronger. Somebody talking. Yeah, can I continue? So it's the progressive forces will be weakened by this. There's no doubt about it. So it is not going to work in the interest of our revolution, which we are committed to. And we hope the Veterans League has also decided, the leadership, that it must engage with the SACP over and above the engagement by the leadership of the ANC. So this is a major challenge, and we're going to pay a price. All of us, ANC and the SACP, will pay a price at the election when the results are announced. Then there's the issue about the workers. It's a major issue, COSATU, and its affiliates. I mean, the workers are being put in a situation where they must make choices between the SACP and the ANC. It's asking them to really divide themselves, because they are going to be divided. They will not agree. There won't be a common position. We'll have breakaways and all sorts of things. No, we discussed it this last week, and we were of the view that it does not serve our strategic objectives of the National Democratic Revolution to change our country. So I would like to stop at that to say, comrades, let's find a way. We can unscramble ourselves. You know, once you have scrambled the egg, it's very difficult to unscramble, because it's a membership that is both ways, and that's how the revolutionary movement has been over years. So I'll go past that matter. It's a major issue. And then there is the issue about how do we regain the confidence of the people. Our campaign, and it's not a secret document because it's not about strategy for elections. Our campaign document, it's available. It says exactly what we need to do to win the confidence of the people. We need to go to them and engage them and explain why we are where we are and how we ended up here and what we are doing to get out of there, and that we want to work with the people. That's what this ANC is about. It has been a movement of the people. If we don't do that, we're not going to gain access. Then we say we must deal with service delivery issues. You can't go to the people and they are living in a road that doesn't exist anymore. And you say to them, we want you to regain confidence in us. They're not going to do it. We must go and fix the mess we have caused. And I wouldn't want to go into detail because it is in that document. The issue about incompetent people, we put them there. We are responsible for it. We appoint them. And when they mess up and the opposition attacks them, we go around them and protect them and ignore the fact that the masses will be seeing what that minister did rather than how you defend that minister. So I think we're getting it wrong. I mean, this issue about, for instance, the Zondo Commission issues. The NEC makes a decision in 2022, July, to say comrades must appear. In 3 months, they don't appear in 3 months. The commission, Integrity Commission, sends a letter. I wasn't there. that says they've not complied, so they need to go to the DC. And it doesn't get done between October, November 2022 until this year. And the Constitution will throw it, I mean, they will throw it out. It's not about what these comrades have done, it's about a technicality of failure. Now, that failure is what got me into trouble talking and analysis in an interview some time ago with the Mail and Guardian. And I said, if people are compromised, they can act against another person who is accused, because then you'll expose yourself. And so if the leadership can't deal with a simple matter like that, whether people are found guilty or not, that's not the point. The point is, why did the NEC make a decision? Matters arising, the next time you meet, you would say, have you done this? But why would it take 3 years and you're not doing it? I think it's us who elect leaders. It's us who deploy leaders. It's us who appoint the officials who can't do what they are supposed to do. And so it's us who must fix it. We must go municipality by municipality. Is this person capable of leading? Ministry by ministry. Very difficult to deal with elected people, because it's the conference that deals with elected people, but it's the ANC members who elect the people. Issue about PA and Action SA, I think, comrades, we know what went wrong, and I was part of that generation. I think when we took over the country, because our comrades were in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Swaziland, Lesotho, and all over, we had a different perspective about how we deal with what is called a foreigner, because we had to remove the electric fence on the Mozambique side. And what we failed to do was to implement basic laws. We have the laws, you don't need new laws. That people must come through legally and etc. We could have done that rather than have thousands of people now and say, what are we going to do about them? Much more difficult to deal with. So I think we failed ourselves to manage this matter carefully, with the understanding that it's difficult to declare a Mosotho, and there are more Basotho in South Africa than in Lesotho, more Botswana in South Africa than in Botswana, more Swazis. It's a colonial construct, and we should have had a way in which we deal with it. But I think we failed, and so the reactionary forces are using that to hit the ANC. Foundation costs, that's why we said as veterans, once you say it's a condition to have a regional conference, people do compliance, malicious compliance, to just do it so they can have a regional conference. But we're hoping that some people who have gone through this course can say to others, you can't behave in the way in which you are behaving. But comrades, there's no extensive, sustained program to clean up the branches, to make sure that type of branch, comrade, member, doesn't become member. You can't be a member of the ANC and behave the way in which those comrades are behaving. Comrades, I was at the national conference, the last one. I mean, the behavior of those comrades at a national conference level, it's unimaginable. You can't even imagine this conference. This comrade is an ANC member. Through the eye of the needle was thrown away a long time ago. I saw a decision by the conference violating its own constitution. In one of the last national conference or before that, I don't remember. And the members and the leaders just let it happen. And so if you have the wrong people at the conference, you will produce the wrong outcomes. And you must live with it until you change the branch. The voter is critical. And then the last is we have overdiagnosed. I agree with you. We don't need analysis now. But comrades, I don't understand it. If a comrade fails, deal with it. But we're not. And that has to go back to that story I was talking about, which got me into trouble. If you have leadership, there are various things that constrain them. Either the constituencies would throw you out if you took that line and act, because I don't understand why leaders can't act and even act in terms of their own decisions. Some are just because of the constituencies. They will be thrown out. I said to one of the leaders, I won't say who now, if I were you, I'll take the stand, let the ANC throw me out. You will be better remembered for having taken a stand. But others, it's their income, it's their livelihood, and that's what stops them from taking the positions that they should take. Others are compromised, others are just straightforward corrupt. And so if we don't renew the organization, we'll go to the next conference and elect people. We should not have a person who's compromised elected, because it's a dangerous, my revolutionary theory says, electing a compromised person is dangerous, because that person will be made to serve other interests other than the interests of the revolution. I think I should stop at that. I think I've answered some, but we should answer them together. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Comrade Reverend. Comrade, is there any other question? Other members who want to ask questions?
Comrade Chair, we'll have Comrade Churchill, Comrade Banele, Comrade Ntombizodwa, Comrade Lisiho, Comrade Litswalo, Comrade Bukaba, Comrade Mafashe, Comrade Kaiser, Comrade Tlohi. I think that will be the last hand, yes. They will end with Comrade Tlohi.
Will end with who?
Comrade Tlohi Bupape.
Okay, no thanks. Comrade Chechi.
Take Lloyd as the last hand, Comrade.
Okay, let's take these hands now. Comrade, please be mindful of the time. Let's share the time. Shaya straight. Comrade Churchill, come in.
Thank you very much. Let me also welcome the presentation from our own professor. Mine is in twofold. I come from Adelaide Tambo, Ward 77. Mine is twofold. It's around the lack of governance and method and modality in choosing leadership. What could be the impact of recycling the leaders within our movement? Number two is around the professionals. The whistleblowers, together with professional auditors, are dying daily with no protection. And those are our comrades. Last year, we buried one of the comrades, that is Izimachila, Kuma Milodi. He was an auditor. And those are potential voters. I'm raising this because all these comrades are dying under the leadership of our comrade. What does that mean to us? As a member of the ANC and the leader of Nyabela, I do think that if we don't come out strongly and condemn such behavior, we are going to lose all potential voters. And if we were to bring the police, it's unfortunately that when the death has happened, the police will not revive that particular person. Thank you.
Comrade Banele.
Thanks, Chair. Comrade Banele Masego from 101, David Lebamp. Thanks, Chair. Welcome the presentation. But Chair, I think also we should not forget also about officials in the parastatals and government entities, because sometimes we over-criticize our comrade and forgetting that some of the officials may not also be members of the ANC. Some of them, in fact, they do everything to make sure that it fails. For example, maybe we need to learn, comrade, and get maybe also more information from the Minister of Electricity, because ESCOM, sometime, comrades, we're told that there are people inside who are sabotaging it. Maybe we should learn also, comrade, from among the other ministers who are doing well. And maybe, comrades, maybe another question would be, don't we think that we over-criticize ourselves and not also maybe speaking mostly about the things that the ANC is doing, good things that the ANC is doing? Because there are many good things that we are doing. Because now we tend, most of the meeting, we criticize ourselves and not also speaking about the good things. Maybe also we must have structures which, or machinery that will promote the ANC brand. I just wanted to dwell on that. Thank you, Chair.
Comrade Ntombi.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, comrades. Let me firstly appreciate the presentation by the veteran. Indeed, he gave us a summary of the renewal-based document. I have only one question and one comment. I just want to find out from the Reverend whether the renewal-based document, as it was developed, was it canvassed or was it shared with other alliance partners? Because when ANC was calling for renewal, this was a call also for the alliance partners of the ANC. But now it is as if the renewal is the baby of ANC. It is as if some alliance component, they are unable to see through that this renewal, it calls for a collective effort, all of us to renew ourselves. So I just want to find out from the Reverend as to whether were they given the document and what was their views. My last comment will be on the question of the compulsory induction program, to say this one, it should be a permanent program of the ANC, because looking to how comrades are responding to the induction programs, there's an appetite there and there, but there are areas where comrades seems not to be interested. But if it can run until so that our ANC comrades can get to understand this mighty organization, how it was formed, and all the things that are in the modules. That is that with regard to my inputs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Ntombi. Comrade Lesego.
Okay, good evening, comrades. Audible. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, leader.
Okay,
Proceed.
I'm going to be very very quick and rush through because I had raised my hand earlier on and something just kicked me out of the meeting. So I've been trying to get in. So now, because of time, the interest of time, I need to be very quick. So my first comment is with regards to policy conference and commissions during electoral congresses. Those things are a disaster because in terms of when they are put, because the focus of delegates is bifurcated between electing leaders and critically engaging in commissions. Commissions should be made before congresses and not within congresses, where delegates are mandated to attend, failing which they won't be allowed to vote in elective congresses. This system must be spread across all levels, provincial, regional, zonal, and branch level, and across all structures of a progressive youth alliance and the mass democratic movement. Secondly, before I start my second point, I forgot to introduce my credentials myself. My name is Isakoma Sisi, and I am a district committee member of the Young Communist League of South Africa in Tshwane. So my second point is this renewed leadership should understand the roles of the SACP and COSATU with regards to the long-term strategic objectives in order to reconcile themselves within the ANC framework with regard to their own decisions and resolutions. This speaks obviously to the Special National Congress of the SACP and the resolutions put thereof. And how can this better advance what we refer to as the National Democratic Revolution? Another point is this thing of the image of a cadre is someone who's an entrepreneur, business person. Most of these people, in fact, are 9-to-5 employees. I mean, the daytime employees. They work for companies, they work for government departments. They are working class people. So that image should be fixed. And to close, I'd like to quote Tupac Shakur, who was a member of the Young Communist League in the USA, when he said, "How can someone have $32 million when so many people are begging for money? And how can someone have so many houses when others are homeless?" I thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Derese. Comrade Letsoalo.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much, and greetings, comrades, and yourself, Comrade Chikane. Look, Mina, I have a very different view, comrades, and I must be very frank and honest with you. My observation is that people who are much more interested in taking into heart the renewal program are primarily volunteers of the ANC, the ground forces of the ANC. Those are the people who are interested into understanding as to why the ANC must be renewed. Those of us who, actually not me, those comrades who are deployed into various institutions, into the municipalities, into whatever institution, for me, I'm saying they still behave the same. They don't care. The same behavior that we might have seen 3, 4, 5 years ago, we're still seeing the same behavior. I can tell you now, Reverend, that the same roads that we are saying this road is problematic for reason A, B, and C, it is still the same even now. Couple of months going into national elections. So I'm saying I have not picked up any single drop of a change in terms of behavior of people who are actually saying this change must happen now. It is urgent for the survival of this organization. I'm not seeing that. They still do the same things in terms of gatekeeping. They still believe certain things are actually, or they are the people who qualify to actually benefit from certain things in terms of businesses in the municipalities, in terms of them having to give to their friends and families and their close compatriots. So I'm saying, comrades, we might want to master this program seated here through Zoom and Teams conference calling and so forth. But the practical work is not being seen by the masses on the ground. So if I don't know what is it that can be done, Reverend, as much as I appreciate and welcome the interventions, but I'm saying if it was possible, one will say everyone must get out of the room, and then we stay outside, and then we then start to say people must queue, and then we come into the room one by one and get to understand who are you, why do you want to be here, why do you want to join this organization? Because I'm saying, comrades, there is no sense of agency. The behavior is still the same. Perhaps maybe it's because of where I stay, and maybe somewhere in other areas there's a change in terms of attitude and behavior and age. I don't know. But Chair, I thought that I must just indicate that, comrades, we need not to be seen contributing meaningfully in these Zoom messages, in Zoom conference calling and so forth, but we need to do the real work on the ground. Our people must see us doing the real work. Our people must see the change that we're talking about. As things stand now, I can tell you the survival of the ANC come the general elections, it's going to be a problem. Thank you very much, Chair.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Letsoalo. Comrade Bukawa. Comrade Bukawa.
Thank you, Comrade. Am I audible?
Yes,
Thank you, Comrade Chair.
Shayaba, quickly.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Comrade, we as the ANC, we're going through the most difficult time ever since our independence, and I'm saying levels of inequality in the country are very high, and this under the leadership of the ANC. So this is a reflection because it's correlating with where we are and the standards of the people on the ground. That it seems like there's that divide, that there's the elite group and the people on the ground. So for me, it's like we need to actually review this the deployment process, and because it is not filtering down to the branches. In my branch, I've not actually seen the people that are unemployed, that are professionals, that are engineers, doctors, but they're just there. And during campaigns, the people that we are canvassing, they're asking, how can you help me if you have the same problems that I have? And yet we have municipalities that need those skills, engineers, and that are failing there, but our skills are actually sitting in the branch and just canvassing, trying to get people, and unable to convince people because people are seeing you as one who is just like them. So what are you going to the ANC led over a situation where there's a lot of deterioration in the social structure of the country. Murder rates are very high, and it seems like the punishment to the murders that are happening does not actually meet. There's no correlation between punishment and the act. One person's life is taken, but mostly the courts are and the society is just looking over the rights. We are emphasizing the rights of that person who have taken the right of his victim to life. So we need to revisit that. We have doctors, engineers that are seated on the ground and are marching and saying that, look, we have skill, we need to add value to our country and continue in and help in its development so that it can maintain its status amongst leaders in the world in different fields. And yet we are having these doctors not actually getting jobs, these engineers not getting jobs. And we are leading
a highly unequal society. So I think that as the ANC, we need to revisit that redeployment. That every branch we need to find out what skills level do we have at every branch, and see that we are able to deploy these skills at our local municipalities, at government departments where those skills are
Comrade
needed.
Lucky,
Yes.
I will cut you there. I think I get the gist of your question.
Thank you, Chair.
Let's give it Comrade Mafashe.
Let me appreciate the moment or the space given to me now.
Leader, can you speak aloud? Can you speak a bit aloud?
All right. I'm saying I'm appreciating the time given in terms of this discussion or this presentation. I appreciate the presentation. It's very informative and very progressive. And then my only question that I would like to be maybe clarified on is on the veterans' view on the current development on the GNU, considering what is currently happening.
Yeah, I'm finding it difficult hearing you. Can you raise up your voice?
Okay. Am I audible now?
Yeah,
Am I audible now? All right. I'm saying my question on this is just to be clarified on the view of the veterans in terms of the current development on the GNU, on which the current development on the issue of how the ANC is attacked in the GNU by the partner that they chose. Further than that, I appreciate the presentation. It's very informative.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Mafashe. Comrade Kaiser.
Thanks, Comrade Chair. Thanks, Comrade Chair. Long live to Comrade Reverend Frank Chikane. Mine is very simple. I'm Kaiser. I'm from Botshabelo here in Free State, Mangaung. My question is, will it not be helpful, Comrade Veteran, in your program of a Veterans League of a renewal of the African National Congress to include the ANC Youth League? Well, I understand that you have engaged them, that they must develop a strategy to renew the ANC and as well as mobilize the ANC Youth League. How is that going to be possible? Since that some of the branches of the ANC Youth League are the hired gun of the ANC leaders in ANC branches. For a practical example, you know that here in Free State on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, the leadership of the ANC Youth League, PEC, in fact, mobilized young people in the Free State to march to the Premier's office. One of their demands was the blue light. They were saying that the Premier in the Executive Council, she must include a young person to be the MEC. So how is it going to be possible if indeed we are saying that the ANC Youth League is a preparatory school of the ANC Youth League, whereas they are doing something contrary to the principle of the ANC Youth League? So I think also in your program, you must include the renewal of the ANC Youth League, since it's a preparatory for the ANC Youth League for future purposes. Thanks, Comrade Chair.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Kaiser. The last one, Comrade Tohi.
Everybody, comrades. My point, I've got 2 points. One, if we look at our renewal message, is really getting lost in translation. Look how this the latest trending issue with the Minister of Higher Education. We then get surprised when ANC is seen as an organization of liars, incompetent, when you've got just blatant, obvious incompetence that is glaring, and the movement takes time to process such conduct. The second issue, quite simple, the issue of undocumented foreigners in our country. It is a burden. And I think the poorest of the poor in our communities, they feel it the most. And ANC, I understand back historically how we were assisted by other African countries, but the volumes and the manner in which we receive assistance is not the same way that we are currently reciprocating to these nations. They are coming. South Africa is basically a lawless. It seems to be lawless, and these these undocumented foreigners, they do as they wish in our backyards, and the people that suffer the most are the poor. And it's these same poor people that ultimately will be rising against the very same movement, while we as the ANC are keeping quiet and trying to come up with a strategy. The opposition, on the other hand, they are maximizing on our weaknesses and our silent points. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Reverend. Let me give it to you now for now.
Yeah, comrades, I'm going.
Chair, can we, before we do the back,
Comrade Bonga.
Comrade Reverend, I wanted to ask if we can give this, make sure that we don't have other hands. We give this last three and then no other hands.
No,
so
we
that
can't hear you.
Can also conclude.
Comrade Bonga, we can't hear
We'll
you.
give to Lloyd, then.
Comrade Bonga.
Can you hear me now?
Comrade Bonga. I'm saying we
Yeah,
can't hear you. What are you
can-
saying?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. What actually are you saying? Now I have to give to.
There are three hands.
Yes.
I was saying before we give to Umfundis. Let's give these three hands so that you can also conclude. We don't take hearing.
Okay, what is it?
Lloyd, and then there was that Samsung that disappeared in the first slide. The Samsung came back. So if you can give the two, and then you don't go back to taking hands. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, let's have a Lloyd and Samsung follow each other like that.
It's Lloyd,
apologies, Comrade Reverend.
Thank you, Comrade Chair, and thank you to the Comrade Reverend. Comrade Reverend, as you are the chairperson of the Integrity Committee, and we're approaching these local government elections, I just wanted to find out what measures has the committee put in place to safeguard the integrity of the councillor candidate selection process. This comes in light of the challenges experienced during the 2019 local government elections, where interference from external comrades or members of society, which was undue and compromised the process itself. So I just wanted to find out what are the recommendations the Integrity Committee has put forward to the NEC so that we prevent the hijacking of the public participations, ensuring our organization remains resilient against attempts to undermine our values. Furthermore, I just wanted to find out, in terms of addressing this, how do you plan to address the issues of disgruntled members who then seek alternative routes, which potentially accelerate the decline of our organization? Thank you, Comrade Chair.
Comrade Samsung, 30 seconds.
That's me, comrade. It's comrade Sia. That's who is now supposed to be that Samsung. Thank you, comrade. I want to commend Comrade Chikane for a great presentation. I just also say that in terms of the Veteran League's renewal program, I want to say well done for the foundation cost. But my question is regarding whether it's really proper for us to restrict this renewal program to the elections next year. Shouldn't it be an ongoing program? Because I think we might be shooting ourselves in the foot in trying to just attain or focus only on the elections next year. I think the last question is regarding the fact that there's talk he was referring to talk to with the youth league. What about the other formations of the movement, like the women's league and so on? Thank you.
Okay, let me give it to Comrade the Reverend. Let's engage.
Yeah. Comrade Chair, some of the issues raised were really comments and don't need a response. I think the issue, for instance, about lack of governance, killings of comrades, I mean, the Comrade Magaga story, it's the most painful, and we don't look like, as the ANC, we take this seriously, that a comrade gets killed based on arrangements by members of this movement because they are corrupt and they arrange killers, police, traffic cops, everybody to go and kill this comrade just because he has information about corruption and killing of professionals. It's a problem. I mean, I just heard about killing an auditor. I never thought an auditor would be killed, you know. And so we're going to be lawless. I've said this about KwaZulu-Natal. It's getting to other parts of the country. I mean, in the 2016 election, there were about 20 candidates who were standing for the elections who were killed during that election. And when the announcement of the results were made, there wasn't even a reference to it by the elections entity, not even by the president, which means we are beginning to accept that people can be killed just like that. We're going to end up with Haiti being like Haiti. I mean, in Haiti, the criminals have taken over. And so this answers to some of the questions that have been asked earlier about criminals and challenges that we are facing. Let me go past that and say that the elections, the overwhelming, the elections, and our elections are rotten, basically. I can't believe that people carry monies around, pay people, and we fail to catch them and discipline them. In the Western Cape, I'm told this person who buys people was sitting in the conference and was doing it openly. And we don't deal with those people. I think we're going to have difficulties. And in terms of the new leadership, advancing the national democratic revolution, if we don't have the right people, we're not going to make it. The issue about deployees and sabotaging the state, it's because we are failing. I mean, there's nobody who can be allowed to sabotage the state if we have got the right deployees to deal with those people. The only thing is that if the leader is compromised, they can't deal with the official because it means they're going to say, you yourself are corrupt and we're going to expose you. I didn't hear, is it Comrade Mafate? I didn't hear you. You talked about the GNU. I mean, comrades could help me to understand what you said. But maybe at the end, let me just deal with the issue of Youth League. No, Comrade Kaiser, we met, we asked the Women's League and Youth League to meet us, to share with us their strategy to regain the confidence of the people, and we shared our strategy. when they came there, the Women's League said, here is our women's program. It wasn't about how you win the confidence of the people and how you win an election. It was their program. The Youth League also came and presented their program rather than how you, it's not even about how you get the youth outside the Youth League. It's more an internal matter. And this issue about them demanding to be part of cabinet and this, we've discussed it with the leadership of the Youth League. I mean, we even talked about this issue about with the president talking about older people as belonging to an old age home and etc. But my meeting with the president of the Youth League early this week was about how they must turn the Youth League into a renewal machine rather than the focus where they are. And he did say that, yeah, I mean, the focus has not been on renewal. So we need the whole Youth League to be turned around, but it means they must fight the battles we fought within the Veterans League. There was huge resistance. There was pushback. The Veterans League was used like all other entities for factional purposes. And we fought very hard to free the Veterans League to be what the constitution of the Veterans League means it should be. So there's going to be battles within the Youth League. You're not going to clean it up without having resistance. The renewal message, you are correct, comrade, that it gets blared. I mean, I just couldn't believe the statement that the ANC released about this issue about Minister of Education. And because she's attacked by the DA, we go overboard and talk like there's no problem. And the masses can read in between the lines. And also this thing about comrades who went scot-free because you failed to charge them on time. The masses read in between because it says it's the failure of the ANC. But the statement we released about it is, it's just the opposite. Just look at the statement, you will see that we have a problem. I wouldn't want to spend more time on that. I think we shoot ourselves on our feet. And we need to change it, comrades. How do we change it? I would want to propose that each one of us who's here should go back to your branch and debate these matters, take them up with the region and the province, and end up national. And that's what I did when I was told, where do you get the mandate? It took me 9 months. Read those the articles that I couldn't show here. It took me 9 months to go through the process to end up with the document with the leadership. And they did not act. And we kept on declining. I think it's a problem. In terms of candidates for elections and integrity commission, we have made our presentations to the NEC. But remember, we can only recommend the NEC Act. And when media says, do you have teeth? I always say, no, I see teeth, Integrity Commission's teeth are the NEC. And so they must go to the NEC if there's a matter that needs to be dealt with. Comrade Spiwa, the foundation course, it's meant for renewal. It's not about the election, except that the SG attached it to, if you don't do it, then you can have a regional conference. But actually, it's about the renewal, and it should be updated, improved, and it's going to be permanent. It's going to be an induction course, but there are other courses at a higher level. I think, Comrade, the one who talked, did you talk to the Youth League? Yes, I've talked about it. We have interacted with them. No, it was about the alliance partners, sorry. It's a bit sensitive, comrades. You can see that the Veterans League is taking leadership on this and doing what the NEC should be doing, and the top 7. And so we are we're a bit cautious about holding meetings with the alliance partners outside the leadership of the ANC, because it is the leadership of the ANC in their normal meetings with the alliance partners to say, we have a renewal program, can we work on it together? That's where it should happen. We did think about organizing meetings that are, direct, but the preferred route would be that the leadership of the ANC, we are a league, and the leadership of the ANC should. So one comrade, lastly, comrades, you ask, do we know what we should do about our crisis? We know. I know what we should do. But you see, it has to be the elected officials who act on these matters, and the whole of the NEC. And that's where we need to push a little bit harder. We're working hard. Our officials at Little House, the SG of the Veterans League and the president are there. They are interacting. Like 2 weeks ago, they went to the SG's office and said, convene this commission on renewal, and reported to the NEC that they've asked them to do it. So the NEC of the Veterans League. So I'm just saying that we all have a collective responsibility. We're going to sink together if we do nothing. And I think the Veterans League is doing its best. And we're trying to get the Women's League and the Youth League to play their role and push hard to get the NEC to deal with this matter. Thank you, comrades. And thank you, Comrade Chair. I really appreciate the opportunity we've got. I wish we were together in one room, but the distances can't allow that. And thanks for those who come from far, even Free State is here. That's appreciated. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thanks, Prof. Comrade Chikane. It's how far we can go. And thank you for coming as well. But perhaps maybe I will give the regional leader, Comrade Aaron Maluleke, to give the vote of thanks. Comrade Aaron. Comrade Aaron Maluleke.
Comrade Chair, maybe try Comrade Kellite because it looks like he's out of the meeting now. Check Comrade Kellite.
No. No. Is he here? Comrade, I saw him, is here. Comrade Aaron Maluleke.
Yeah, he's here.
Good evening, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, leader.
Oh, thank you, Chair. And good evening to our esteemed guest, Comrade Chikane, and all attendees. Let me thank the branch for organizing this gathering that I think it has achieved its purpose of educating, but also provoking different ideas around what constitute renewal of the ANC. And I think we did justice in conversation, and comrades expatiated on other areas. And we must appreciate the branch for organizing Comrade Chikane to be available. Let me also, in the same vein, thank Comrade Chikane for imparting and imbibing such information to branches when we are almost at a crossroad of trying to find ways of reclaiming the glorious days of the ANC. And I think it's a very difficult process. Comrades indicated some of the challenges that are glaring, but also provided solutions on how we can turn this ship around. It has been very interesting. I think for the region, as a leader in the region, I attended from the beginning while we were struggling with slides to put them together, listened to the delivery of Comrade Chikane and listened to inputs. I attended a class, a political class, and I think I will continue to have, because of Ward 5 has delivered outstanding speakers in different topics. And we believe that we'll continue with the work that we're doing. Let me appreciate all of you and good evening, comrades. Let's continue renewing the organization. It's not an easy task, but it's a task that asks all of us to draw from lessons of our forebears, build this organization that we all love for posterity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Comrade Aaron, the regional leader. Perhaps maybe the last issue. Also, we are aware that we have other comrades who are from Northwest. You are also welcome, comrades, for being here. So we will also share the presentation. Please just send us your email addresses on the numbers that are here on the poster. Lastly, Comrade Chikane, perhaps I'm being requested to ask that on the issue of dialogue and African Renaissance. Actually, I was supposed to talk to you on the side, but I think I'm going to put you on the spotlight. You'll pardon me. That there is an issue of African Renaissance, and we have a view in Tshwane region, in particular the Ward 5, that we want to take this opportunity to request you humbly so, if you can request Comrade Thabo Mbeki, the former president, to come and engage us on those two topics, African Renaissance, and also on the issues of national dialogue, even before the actual engagement starts, so that we broaden the understanding before the actual event.
Yeah,
yes.
You are definitely putting me on the spot.
I know.
No,
I know.
I'm no more in charge of his program, but I mean, if you reach out to him or send me a note to help to send the note to him, I can do that. But do send him a note directly, so it's not me who's lobbying him. I'll be meeting him about Africa and African people of African descent. Not soon, but it's going to happen. But send the request, and then send me a note. I can use that note to when I meet with him.
Okay, no, thank you, leader. We'll try to see how best we can do that. Okay, we really appreciate your presence. Comrades, the meeting has come to an end, and equally, thank you for coming. The meeting is officially adjourned.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.
Thanks, comrade. Thank
Good
you.
night. Good night, comrades.
Thank you very much,
Sharp
leadership.
Makerela.
Good night.
Sharp. Good night,
Much
comrade.
appreciated,
Thank
comrade
you. Thank you, sir.
Amandla.
Good night. Thank you.